we do curing? Now, this is to actually to promote, by just in simple words, we can say we want to promote the hydration of cement and then that of concrete. So we want to promote the hydration of cement. Does this mean there was no water present in the initial cement? Yes, there was water present in the initial cement. So now why do we want to promote by adding more water once it is hydrated? Because there is a loss of water. There is a loss of water, and that loss of water happens due to many things. One is due to evaporation. This is the first cause of. Now, evaporation would naturally happen in when it is very less humid, not in humid atmosphere. It will always happen in when the relative humidity is less, when the temperatures are more, when it's windy. So these are the basic climatic conditions in which you would have more evaporation. So that would lead to loss of water from the concrete. And now, if it's very less humid, it is less than 80%. If it's taken humidity, if RH value is less than 80%, then it's said that concrete will undergo evaporation, and thereby it requires curing. So very important, if the relative humidity is less than 80%, then it undergoes evaporation and it requires curing. So that means it needs addition of water once it has hardened. So if we see the day and night cycle, agar hum wo dekhein, during the day, the RH value always, if you are, agar aap weather and climate freak ho and you want to, and you have some idea about what during day it drops and during night it increases. So you have over a period of many days and many nights cycles of this peaks and lows of RH. And in some extreme arid conditions, arid conditions means which are quite dry weather conditions, like in deserts, you have the RH value going even below 30%, even less than 30%, the RH value would go. So there, the humidity is quite less, and so most of the sweating due to hot weather, you are losing a lot of water from your body in such arid zones. That's why even the concrete will lose a lot of water in such arid zones due to high temperatures. High temperature would always lead to evaporation, but the less humidity also leads to evaporation, and windy atmosphere also leads to evaporation. Now, if it's combination of windy, high temperature, and less humid, which is in the arid zones, in the deserts, there the loss of water in concrete will be maximum. So if the loss of water is maximum in such conditions, there you need curing of appreciable quantity for concrete. तो सबसे ज्यादा क्योरिंग आपको कहां पर चाहिए? In such climatic conditions. Now, it's dry and it is less humid, but it's windy. So in such conditions, when the temperature is even in the less than 0 degrees Celsius, you can still have a lot of evaporation happening because the climate is very less humid and it's windy at the same time. So even in minus temperatures, you could have evaporation and need of curing. So even in such conditions, you need the curing to be done. Now, in certain cases, when you have RH value going way below 30%, even in these zones, you need constant curing or continuous curing in such zones. Now, how do we apply the curing onto the... So there are various methods to do the curing. One classification is, this is wet curing, and the second classification is membrane curing. Wet curing, you must all have seen how we do it. In wet curing, what we do usually is we apply moisture to the surface of the concrete. And how do we do that? We do that by spraying water, simple by a pipe or a jet sprayer, not too you just require to spray the water. That is one method of doing it. And the other method is you pond the water, or you flood the water. You do the ponding method, or you flood the water over the surface, or you apply wet sand over the surface, or wet clay on the surface. So it always keeps on absorbing water and it's in contact with the concrete at all times. Or you can just say wet earth rather than wet clay. And you can use the sawdust, which is made wet. So you could have soaking methods in wet curing, or like you have the gunny bags, like you have gunny bags. One is a burn lap that is used, or you have cotton nets that are used. So these are all methods of wet curing of concrete, and there are even more methods. I can show you, but I showed you the figure with the spraying of water over the surface. This is when you are using the ponding method. Actually, ponding and flooding can be termed as the same thing. So you are actually flooding by dividing it into zones, and then you keep it constantly underwater. Now, this method would be a continuous method of curing over the surface of water. And then you have the method of applying the wet sand. The gunny bags, and they remain moist over a long period of time. So once water is applied over those gunny bags, they remain moist over a long period of time. So we are actually getting concrete which has got a lot of continuous covering of water. Now, these are feasible in vertical. Now, in slabs, I showed you the ponding and the flooding being done, but that cannot be made possible in columns or vertical walls. So, in such structures, you actually need to use these methods. You cannot do the methods of the flooding, and because the water will not stay in over the columns. So you need to provide these methods. So even using the cotton assemblies, you can still be, and you will be able to cure the concrete over a period of time. This is about the wet curing. Now, why? What is the actual principle behind wet curing? In all these methods, what is the principle, or in either in the soaking methods or in the spraying methods? The idea is that you continuously keep on adding water to the concrete such that water is available for hydration for the water which has been lost through evaporation, for hydration of cement which is still unhydrated. And there is unhydrated cement. Most of the unhydrated cement would become hydrated after 7 days. So mostly you require 7 days, at least you require 7 days of curing. Now, from the misconceptions that I told you, if it's very cold climate, people have an idea that the water will not evaporate in a cold climate. And if it's not windy, if the humidity is quite high, yes, it will not evaporate much. So there will be less amount of water um, that will be evaporating. But in cold climates, it's still then the hydration processes are slow because water combining with cement also depends upon the temperature of the atmosphere. So curing has to do with the temperature. Both strength development has to do with the temperature difference between the atmosphere and the concrete, and curing also has depends on temperature difference between the concrete and the air that affects the loss of water. So curing, now if the concrete का temperature अगर वो भी कम है, if it's near 5 degrees Celsius and the temperature outside is also very low, then the hydration processes, even though there is no evaporation happening, you are not applying the temperature, this water, you do not require the water for curing, but still the hydration processes will be low because the temperature of the concrete itself is low. Now on the reverse, if the temperature of the concrete is high and outside temperature is low, then there will be less amount of evaporation, so less amount of curing will be required. And at the same time, you would then require the and then you will find out that the strength development will take place quickly अगर बाहर का temperature कम है and the temperature of the concrete is high. Now, it naturally does not happen कि बाहर का temperature low है और concrete का temperature भी high रहे, क्योंकि बाहर के temperature से concrete के temperature पे फर्क पड़ती है. But it would happen if the amount of concreting being done is quite large. For example, you are casting a huge block of concrete. In that case, if this, for example, this is 5-meter depth concrete, so the outside climate, जो बाहर climate है, that वो temperature बाहर से, it will hardly go into half a meter. It will have an effect on the outer zone, the half the meter. और अंदर में क्योंकि exothermic reactions हो रही है और hydration हो रही है, तो अंदर का temperature will go up. So this is a situation where बाहर से अगर minus temperature भी हो अंदर का temperature could still be going up. So the hydration processes could still continue and there will be less evaporation क्योंकि बाहर का temperature बहुत कम है and there is more humidity if there is more humidity and the weather is not windy. So you could have this situation. Now there could be situations if the concreting that's being done is quite small and बाहर का temperature minus है. Then in that case there is no evaporation happening, so curing is not required if its humidity is quite large. Then what do you do in that case? You actually have to pond the water around this. You have to pond the water around the assembly which you are casting. This should be the process. And here you have to, once you are ponding the water, you need to put in a controlled thermostatic heater into this water to heat up this water. And that will heat up, that will provide an ideal atmosphere both for curing as well as for the hardening processes of the concrete. So it's not always possible in a large structure, but in large structures it's not required because there the amount of heat of hydration generated from within the concrete is enough to keep it in a state where it has a higher temperature, and that is enough for further hydration processes to continue, and also for there will be less amount of curing. But if the inner temperature is going too high, then evaporation may happen even in the minus temperature, even with RH outside being high. If there is too much of heat being generated within the concrete, so evaporation may start from within and the water may be lost to the atmosphere due to high heat inside the concrete if the assembly is too large and the heat of hydration generated is quite large. So what do you do in such situations? You do not allow the water to be lost. So you have to keep on curing in large structures by just applying the water over the surface. Even if the water temperature is quite less, that is still good enough in large structures. You need to still keep on curing. So this misconception, ये यहाँ पर ये हो रहा है कि you always need water. Even in minus temperature, for small structure, you need water around it. For large structures, you can still keep on adding water. And the water temperature should be could be around even up till 5 degrees Celsius because there is a large amount of heat being generated within the setup. And even in hot weather, it's well known if you need to apply the water because in hot weather and less humid conditions, you always need to apply water. So you need to go for ponding and other methods of the curing in such climates. Now, even in minus temperatures, even in temperatures which are very low, just near 0 to 5 degrees Celsius, even there uh, you could keep the gunny bags around the concrete elements, and those gunny bags would serve two purposes. One, it would save the concrete from direct wind effects of chilly wind effects on the outer surface. So gunny bags would serve as a covering over the concrete, and it would raise the temperature by a bit. And it could also then, at the same time, be utilized for curing during the day time. So these are the. So I think you have now got over this misconception of that curing is required only in hot weather. So curing is a continuous phenomena. Now curing so thereby ensures two more things. Not only does it ensure moisture over the surface, for it also ensures temperature optimization and humidity optimization. So curing acts as a temperature regulator. You can say optimization or a regulator, and humidity optimization or regulator. So it has got two main purposes apart from the moisture control for heat, for hydration of the concrete. That is, ये temperature को भी maintain करता है, and it also helps in maintaining the humidity. For example, when I added water here in minus temperature, if I add 5 degrees Celsius temperature water,